On this Civic, B1232 points to an evaporator temperature sensor circuit short seen by the climate control unit. In plain language, the control unit may be seeing the evaporator temperature signal pulled lower than it should be. The driver may notice abnormal A/C operation, poor temperature control, or the HVAC system may simply store the code without an obvious complaint. The broad possible areas are the evaporator temperature sensor, the TEVA and SENS-COM wiring between the sensor and the climate control unit, or the climate control unit itself. The diagnostic path is about separating those areas instead of guessing. Before getting into connector checks, start with the basic troubleshooting checks for this HVAC system. Make sure you are not skipping the normal setup and code checking process. If other codes are present, check what they mean first, then come back to B1232 with a clean plan. The inspection outline for B1232 breaks the job into 3 areas: the evaporator temperature sensor, the external TEVA and SENS-COM circuit, and the climate control unit. Make sure the evaporator temperature sensor test is completed correctly. If the exact sensor test path or connector identification is not clear, pause and get that sorted before moving on. Do not infer terminal locations or guess at a sensor result. For the confirmation step, turn the vehicle to on mode. The logic behind this code is that when the input voltage from the evaporator temperature sensor is less than the specified value, the climate control unit judges that as abnormal and stores B1232. Next, set up for the TEVA and SENS-COM shorted wire inspection. Disconnect the evaporator temperature sensor 2P connector and disconnect climate control unit connector B, which is the 24P connector. Keep the connector orientation and terminal identification straight before making any measurements. With climate control unit connector B, the 24P female terminals, disconnected, and IG mode OFF, perform the TEVA to SENS-COM shorted wire inspection. The normal condition is more than 1 m-omega. If that check is not normal, treat it as a circuit problem before looking at the control unit. For the shorted circuit portion, use the proper open or short inspection method for the circuit you are checking, then continue based on the circumstances found during testing. If the path back through the earlier checks is not clear, pause, recheck the diagnostic path already completed, and avoid guessing. With IG mode off, perform the TEVA shorted to ground inspection. The normal condition is not shorted. Again, an abnormal result points you back to a circuit problem, not directly to the climate control unit. Only perform the climate control unit inspection if the other inspection items showed normal conditions. At that point, if the sensor side checks and the external circuit checks are normal, the remaining climate control unit is determined to be the cause. The final inspection result for that path is a problem with the climate control unit. The takeaway for B1232 is simple. Prove the evaporator temperature sensor path and the TEVA/SENS-COM circuit first, especially shorts between the wires or to ground. Do not jump to the climate control unit until the other checks are normal. For more diagnostic training, visit Diagnostics.com.